Hi, Cas Pearson. So that's an interesting one because depending, I mean, there's mortgage brokers come in all shape and sizes. Like everything else, you get some really good ones, some not so good ones, and I'm not having any kind of comment on your one, but I would say anybody who says that probably doesn't is probably giving you half of the truth around buying in the auction. So why is he saying that you can't get a mortgage on it? That's not totally true because I personally I've bought properties in auction and I've managed to get mortgages on them within the timeline. So that's definitely not true. So you can get properties and buy properties in property auctions and still get mortgages on them. That's the first fact. Second, I can try to understand why he might be saying that. A lot of the times in auctions, properties are put into it because there are some quirks around those properties that you may not be able to sell them on an open market. So that's why they go into auction, and that's why he may be saying for those properties, you may not be able to get a traditional mortgage to be able to buy them at the auction. Having said that, just because you can't get a traditional mortgage doesn't mean you can't buy them with other means of finance. You can get, so obviously I'm assuming by the question you can't buy outright cash, but you can also bridge. You can use bridging finance to be able to help you buy properties in auctions. How does it differ? Why can you get bridging finance versus mortgages? Bridging finance are much more expensive short-term loans that developers, investors use to buy properties that you would normally not get a mortgage on. Let's say, for example, right now, EPC is a good example. Anything with an EPC of F means you can't buy the property. You're not going to get a traditional mortgage on it. What you can do is to get a bridging company to lend you the money. They normally typically give 70% loan to value of the value that you're buying. So you put 30% deposit down. You bridge it for say 6 months. You go in, you do the remedial work if that's what the problem was to get the EPC from an F to a D or a C. It costs you a few £1,000 to do that. Simple stuff like insulation, loft insulation. You change the windows. You put some LED bulbs, etc., and you get that down to a C rating or a D rating. Then you can go to your mortgage company and actually apply for a mortgage to then refinance that property onto that mortgage. That mortgage then you use to pay the bridging finance off, and you keep the house and then you start renting it. So you can get around this notion that you can't buy and get a mortgage. There are multiple ways of doing it. Watch some of the other videos around that I post around auctions as well.